Here we are, another week, another video in EU4. Everything looks pretty normal, at least at a quick glance. But if you take a look over here, you're going to see we've got some interesting stuff going on over here in China. I imagine that actually a lot of people don't even know about the synthetics, but these guys have been in the game for so long. They're up there with Yan Mayan. I think they may have even been put in the same update or in the same time frame. Now, the mod that I'm using, I believe, gives them even more cracked modifiers. So yeah, they're definitely going to be very powerful. I believe that this is a mistake. I'm gonna fix that actually. Fine, I'll do it myself. Regardless, I let a little bit of time pass just so they would spawn. I believe it's kind of random who receives them, but it will not be random who receives these hands. I think you're gonna see they're gonna be doing pretty good. It does not matter that they've spawned in the Ming. I don't think it matters at all. But there's only one way to figure that out, and that is to have it on speed 5 and unpause. They're an invader, so nobody likes them. They do have some modifiers. They have invasion, giving them some positive buffs, like, you know, massive force limit, manpower, core creation cost, discipline, things like that. But people are going to hate them. That is definitely a thing. For some reason, they're Tengri, which I am a big fan of. But as far as culture goes, they are Roman. Okay, they were no culture. So yeah, I don't know what that's all about. They are a machine intelligence, but yeah, it doesn't matter. They still have vanilla reforms. Their main conduit, executor, Seitun Livia. I love this stuff, man. This is so goofy. Their heir is called a scalar. If you are a nerd and you understand what that means, leave a like on this video. You and I would get along. Well, it doesn't look so good for Ming. Their mandate it dropped. I think they passed the reform. Yep. And Beijing is occupied by the synthetics. Any battles that are fought here will result in, oh my gosh, yeah, it will result in losses for the Ming. For some reason, even Oirot is joined in, helping out the synthetics. So we'll see how things go with that, man. Safe to say the synthetics are going to bring down the Ming. We are like 6 years in, and yeah, they ain't looking so good. 90,000 losses in the 1450s is absolutely insane. They have a lot of money too. I don't know. I think it's just from like when they spawn in. I didn't give them any money, so not really sure about that one. But yeah, Ming has like 20,000 troops left, and the synthetics have a lot. They are ahead of time on all technologies, and they are looking to get their first idea group, letting them snowball quite a bit more. They also went with offensive ideas, and upon piecing out the Ming, they took quite a bit of land. So that is pretty crazy. They also synergized with Confucian. I don't think that matters a whole lot outside of just giving them, you know, religious unity in China. But the stab cost, I guess, is useful. But yeah, I mean, with them exclusively enclosed within China, they're not really going to have much to do, at least until maybe we see some breakaway states, which I think we probably will fairly shortly. And meanwhile, on the other side of the world, we have Sweden beating the tar out of their former overlords of Denmark. I think it's safe to say that they will be independent before too long. Muscovy is consolidating the Rus. England has pushed up into Scotland, and France has pushed over into Brittany. The Ottomans have annexed Byzantium, my beloved, and it looks like they're going to be working on the rest of this stuff over here, though I'm pretty sure this Kanik province is theirs in 1444. Not sure. Also, if you don't know, Kanik handguns are like super nice. Look them up. They're cool guns. Mams are being very aggressive, pushing down into Arabia, and holy Timurids, Batman. I would love to see a big strong Mughals to contest the synthetics. I think that would be like best case scenario. And meanwhile, the synthetics have like another 10 years of truce with the Ming. So we sit and we wait. Well, yeah, I've got something to show you guys. So synthetics decided to go to war with the Ming. And you're going to notice things look a little strange. They've got meritocracy. They can enact a decree. They have claims on all of China as well as cores on the lands over here. And yeah, it's because they took the mandate. The synthetics took the mandate of China. How this will affect LeBron's legacy, I cannot tell you, but it's definitely going to have some effect. Mams continue to grow until their inevitable clash with the Ottomans, where they will get bopped on the head. Burgundy seems to be not feeling so good. I assume that they were PU'd by somebody. No, they are independent. They are fighting a defensive war against Austria as well as France, and it looks like they're going to lose both of them because they're not feeling good. Sweden is doing quite well. It took a ton of land over here from the Danes, as well as down here in Skåneland, or however that is pronounced. And England has pushed over into the Emerald Isle. Castile has an alliance with Portugal, but more importantly, they have a PU on Aragon and Navarra. So a strong Spain, very good. I also missed Muscovy annexing basically the entirety of the Livonian Order outside of Riga. So that's pretty good. We're definitely seeing a strong Muscovy so far. Love to see a pink Kabu on the map right across from the first colony from Portugal. Kilwa uniting over here, and that is about it. Timmy continues to grow. Looks like they took all of their lands from Ajam over here. They have annexed their subjects, all of them minus Sistan, and I imagine they're going to be pushing into Delhi. Let's wait and see. Well, it looks like the Synthetics have taken Beijing as well as one random province down here. When you take a look at the diplomat mode, you're going to see they got a lot of cores over here, and that is because the Unified China CB gives you cores on every province that you occupy in the China area, or the China regions rather, which is busted. They do border a big horde, so an unguarded nomadic frontier very well may happen before too long. We'll see how things go with that. Though I gotta say, I didn't expect a synthetic Emperor of China when I loaded up a mod that added the synthetics into the game. That is definitely not what I had in my bingo cards, but I'm here for it. Timmy pushing over into Mesopotamia, and then we've got the Mams and the Ottos just staring each other down. No major wars as of yet. England has pushed the Irish out of Ireland, and France has taken over lots of land over here. Interestingly enough, it looks like Burgundy joined the Empire. Rather than giving up their land, they joined. I don't know how that works, but that's what we're working with. And I don't know, it's pretty impressive actually. Also, just shout out Florence down here chilling, part of the Empire over here. We've got the colonial game underway with Portugal down in Brazil. We've got Castile over here in the Caribbean, and we've got England up here in Newfoundland. Muscovy has integrated all of their subjects, and I imagine that Russia is inevitable whenever the time comes. Though having a big Poland and a big Sweden right on their borders who's allied to Poland, I think that might curb their enthusiasm a bit. We have a war going on here, 77%, 78%, and yeah, they are basically full occupied here. Things are not looking very good for the Ming. Synthetics, I imagine, are going to take quite a big chunk of land here, and I'm sure that they would love to take Canton to give them a little bit of extra. It's funny because they have literally no tributaries. It doesn't matter. I guess I don't really understand why they're still able to gain a decent amount, but that's how it works. And yeah, they took a lot of land, and it is tanking their mandate here because they took a ton of land that they devastated themselves, and now they have to deal with the consequences of their actions. Also very base, not giving the eunuchs a single thing. Screw the eunuchs, they are a total trap. Meanwhile, it does look like Timmy has pushed over here into the Indus Valley, I believe this area would be called. Still no war between the Mams and the Otto. And honestly, things are just pretty steady over here. I do think France has pushed a bit down here. Shadow Kingdom, definitely a boon for them. But over on this side, it doesn't look that interesting, though I did see Danzig pop up. So I'm curious why the Teutons are here and not Danzig. They are an independent monastic order that is not in the HRE. Curious. Colonization continues with Portugal pushing down into Rio de Prata. And then the Castilians pushing more into the Caribbean, but also over into Mexico. And it looks like they are beating up on some Mexicans right now with the Newfoundland completely finished for the English. Well, they've also got, I think this is like Prince Edward's Isle. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Yes, let the breakaways begin. And it does seem that the unguarded nomadic frontier was going to start causing them some issues because they bordered, so they decided to attack them. And now Oirat is getting bonked on the head by the synths. Well, we've got Japan has formed, Manchu has formed, and synthetics continue their domination. But you're seeing some big red snakes going on because Timmy has entered the arena, though they haven't formed the Mughals, and I checked. They don't actually have the decision either. I really don't know what they changed in Winds of Change, but I assume that it has something to do with that, or maybe it was King of Kings. I don't honestly know. For some reason, and I do not know why, Otto and Mams will not do anything. I don't know why they won't fight. We are obviously past Admin Tech 10. We have a big spooky Russia who's beating up on Uzbek right now, giving Kazan a nice hug, or maybe they're giving him a chomp, like Pac-Man, you know, they got their teeth sinking into him. Shout out Karelia, has been released from Sweden. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's here. England holding on to this Laborde or whatever, this province here. There you go. Regardless, Spain is united, and France is definitely spooky, though. Shout out Genoa, growing out of Genoa. Don't see that very often, so that's cool. So it does look like the HRE is like surprisingly incredibly stable. Like how many 1444 borders are we seeing right now? Because I'm seeing quite a bit. It's like the meme with the stick. I'm like, come on, do something. Like the colonizers who are still colonizing. We've got Portugal up here in Colombia now, and New Spain is here and they are dominating. We also have France, who's decided to join the colonial game down here in southern Florida. We have Vinland as well from the Danes, and then Newfoundland has formed for the English. France has decided to also push down into Africa, and the homies have pushed one province up here. So shout out to homies. Actually, 2 provinces, I think. So definitely shout out to homies. Continuing the colonial game, we do have St. Helena over here, I believe, going to the Spanish as well as the Cape of Good Hope. And they're also over here on some islands in the Indian Ocean. Oh shoot, they were actually all the way over here into the Spice Islands and Indonesia. So things are definitely going well for the Spanish. Meanwhile, Portugal is colonizing Ain Zaid down here. Though again, not really sure how the synthetics will appreciate all that. We'll see. Hopefully we'll see some cool imperialism wars. I would love that. We're almost 100 years in. Spain is the #1 great power with the synthetics right behind them. Though once they embrace institution, they will also be taking over that #1 spot right neck and neck, 20 development away from the Timurids. France with just under 1,000, Otto just under 1,000, and then a giant drop off to 627 for the Mams, and then under 600 for England and Portugal. Spain has pushed into northern Africa, as has Portugal, completely destroying the borders over here, and the Ottomans have pushed over into the Mamluks. It was only a matter of time, a little late to the party, but better late than never, I suppose. England refuses to integrate Scotland, which is funny, and Burgundy has annexed some land over here in like the Low Countries. Keeping an eye on that. Sweden seems to have lost a little bit of land over here to Russia, who is they're pushing east. But yeah, we now have a Gurkhani empire led by the Timurids. Now their leader was called Babur, which, you know, I think that's a Babur Gate reference if I've ever seen one. But of course the synthetics are doing their thing, pushing over into Burma, pushing down into Khmer right now, and looks like they've even taken a bit of land from Korea, my beloved. Don't worry though, the Ming are there. They're still here. Japan also pushing over into Manchuria, going to get there, put in the crosshairs of the synthetics. I'm very sure of that. And the Dutch West African coast has made an appearance. So shout out the Dutch getting in on the colonial game, with Peru forming for Portugal, and South America basically all blue, with Central America and California apparently going to the Spanish, as well as Louisiana. And boys, we got Russian James Bay. So we definitely have some variety in the colonial game. I am here for it. The 13 colonies, Vinland, Newfoundland over here, but the French have gotten their colony set up here down in Florida. Well, Spain is pushing up into France, who doesn't seem to be feeling too good. They also took a ton of land over in Naples. Tuscany has eaten the rest. Burgundy is continuing to blob. Hungary is getting dominated and the Ottomans. Persia has formed, I guess, and Mewar never changes. Also, shout out Vijayanagari, India up here. That's definitely a nice one. The synthetics continue to grow, mostly just in their area, but they are over into India, continuing to push into Korea, now up into Russia. But yeah, it doesn't look like Russia is feeling so good. They are getting bonked by the British as well as the synthetics. And this isn't even the League War. The League War already happened. The Catholics won. And this is just 2 separate wars between these guys attacking Russia and the synthetics attacking Russia. This is horrible for them. A Canadian colonial war. Ay, ay, ay. Super weird to see Persia forming from the Mughals. I know that they changed that a couple of patches ago, but it is always going to throw me off if I see that. Of course, yes, the League War did happen, like I said. Catholics won. Protestants are actually quite powerful over here in the empire. Like, they're a good half of it, with Reformed taking up another quarter or so. Obviously, up north, very blue. Anglicanism going on over here. But their colonies, well, one of their colonies is Catholic, and the west is Anglican. So shout out to Panama down here, Protestant Panama. And we love a little bit of that Sunni Patagonia. Shout out Mali getting in on the colonial game. Very nice. Australia is mostly finished. 1 province left over here for Portugal, and it's all Portugal. Though we do have a few other guys, France, Russia, Spain. They're all getting in on the colonial game a bit. Spain has colonized much of the Philippines, and Africa over here is definitely looking weird. Jolof seems to be colonizing. Holland has been exiled down here with their capital in Elpenmenekust. So there you go. How about that for some coloniseerd? Though I actually love seeing a big Ethiopia. Obviously, they're not going to stand up against the Ottomans, but I always appreciate an underdog, especially one that is like a cool tag like Ethiopia. So with about 150 years left in the game, Spain is actually still the #1 great power, just ahead of the Synthetics, though I'm sure that their colonial game is definitely helping them out there. The Ottomans with under 2,000 and Great Britain right behind them. Russia with 16, though they are probably going to be falling quite a bit, if not completely out by the time this is all said and done. Portugal and their colonial empire in the 6th spot, France in the 11th with over 1,000, and then Tuscany with 800 development just in Italy. Italy is broken in EU4. If you can believe it, Tuscany actually formed Italy, which is really, really, really cool. I don't think you see the AI form Italy very often, so I am definitely a fan of that. Looks like France is just slowly getting munched on between the Spanish, British, and possibly Burgundians, as well as the Italians. So yeah, definitely enemies from all sides. The Catholic Emperor has eaten Bohemia, as well as some land up here, and Poland seemingly not doing very well. Moldavia has been released from them, and they're just kind of sad looking. Though it is pretty nuts seeing the Synthetics occupying land all the way over in Livonia. That I did not expect. Nor did I expect to see Persia splitting the occupations with the Synthetics of Russia. Ottomans are massive, that's no surprise. Sadly, Ethiopia is dead, but hey, how about that Congo? Mewar continues to beat up on VJ. It looks like they're going to take some land right now with what I assume is their friend of the Synthetics beating up on the other portion of VJ. And yeah, they're big. They're really big. Russia took the land from Japan over here in Manchuria, and they're going to lose that, I assume. Though it does kind of break my heart. Like every time I look, they've taken like 1 or 2 extra provinces from Korea, and they're occupying them right now. So we're probably going to see more land going to the Synthetics from Korea. Sadly, Mali has lost their colony down here in the tip of South America, though we do have a British Argentine. So that's something that has happened. Portugal has the rest. And then all of this up here, you got the entire west half of America, or North America rather, going to the Spanish, and then the rest over here going to the British. Looks like they ate the French colony, they ate the Russian colony, they ate the Danish colony. Now we've just got Newfoundland in the 13 colonies, and I believe British Louisiana in the Upper Peninsula, and like Minnesota and North Dakota. So there you go. Louisiana, my friends. The Age of Absolutism has about 3 years left in it. Spain is still the #1 great power, though it is only because of that colonial empire. If they lose 1 or more, they will certainly drop, with Great Britain in the #2 spot, Portugal in the #3 spot, the Synthetics the true #1 great power, though they have not managed to embrace institution just yet. The Ottomans behind them in the 5th, with Persia in the 6th, Italy with, they had 800 some last, now they're up to 1350 development, and then Poland actually with their PU of Lithuania in the 8th spot. We also have military hegemon going to the Synthetics, though they are not able to stack it up quite yet. Hopefully they will eventually. That would be very scary. Well, it is 1821, and boy, oh boy, we've got a revolution on our hands. There is so many revolutionary nations, even revolutionary planet with the most snaky HRE borders I have literally ever seen. Very funny to see Austria almost exclusively exiled to Bohemia. And shout out the Slovak boys, love ya. Poland was never actually able to form the Commonwealth because they need Danzig. So they just never integrated Lithuania. They are still their PU. They're just not annexing them. Revolutionary Britain with their purple flag over here is pushing into Burgundy still. The lowlands, they are very strong, and I'm sure that their economy is absolutely booming. Love to see Revolutionary Serbia over here by Revolutionary Albania. And yeah, just overall some very, very goofy borders. Don't worry, boys, long Burgundy cannot hurt you. Persia's still hanging in there. I think they lost some land to the Synthetics, though you can't really be too surprised about all that. Russia still holding on, though they lost mostly all of their eastern stuff over there. They continued to be okay, though I think Persia took some land from them. Maybe Poland, but yeah, they did okay. Shout out Gazak Mook looking to work their way around the Caspian. And the Congo looking so good that they decided to move their name. And how about that Songhai? That's pretty spooky. They've even got some land over here. I don't know how. Love to see the Shogunate forming. Always appreciate it when the AI can do some cool stuff like that. Though it does look like they lost a little bit of land to Korea. A little bit of that reverse colonization going on over there. And of course, yeah, the Synthetics did well. The major point of the video was to see how everyone else reacted. And there's definitely some goofy stuff. Love a good Persian Indonesia, Persian Malaccas. Very good. Looks like Bali did some colonization. They didn't make their way down to Australia, though. There's still Australians coming up to Bali, I think. Wait, no, that's not Bali. Bali's over here. Okay. So this is a Sumbawa. Either way, South America, all blue. North America, split down the middle between the Spanish colonies, then the English colonies, though it does look like the U.S. has broken free. Good old Anglican U.S. of A. Love to see it. I wasn't kidding when I said everyone was going revolutionary. Literally like everybody did. And the religious map mode actually looks fairly similar to what it did before. We've got Protestants, though it looks like the Reformed has basically been stomped out. It's all Protestant now. And of course, lots of Catholic. There's still a ton of Catholic. Orthodox having a good day, though. Definitely all good to see. And then it doesn't look like the synthetics really did a whole lot. There's one Buddhist province over here, a couple of Tangri provinces, a Buddhist province here, and then a random Catholic province over here. Why not? Even Macau is Catholic. Lovely. Does look like the Hindus pushed over into Baluchistan and even over here into like Tibet. So that's pretty cool. Coptic's still around, though, not looking so good. The Ottomans control basically all of the Coptic land. A couple of random Catholic provinces down here in the south. No surprise considering Portugal over here. But how about the one Catholic province over here in the Congo? That's pretty good. We had some Occitan culture pushing over here. Not really too surprising. The French were there for a very long time. Muscovite looking super good. No surprise there. The Siberian frontiers give them free culture conversion. South America is all Brazilian. North American is mostly Mexican. Though I do gotta say, I love seeing a big American culture, especially in Canada. That's my favorite. But you can't forget about the Danes and the French. They are also there. Lots and lots of development in here in Germany. That is kind of nuts. When you look at the rest of the map, it is just like green. Russia's a wasteland. Most of the synthetic lands are wasteland. The Ottomans, like basically all of North Africa and all of this stuff over here in like southern East Africa, it's all wasteland. And then like China's good, Ayuthya's good, India's okay, but then lots of development going on over here in like Java and Sumatra, maybe even quite a bit over here in Borneo as well. So that's pretty cool. It definitely looks like the synthetic invasion was a total success. If you guys have a suggestion of a mod that you'd like to see, leave it in the comments down below. If you liked the video, leave a like on it. I do appreciate that a lot. If you haven't already subscribed, you gotta subscribe or else you're missing out on a ton of content on this channel. And I appreciate you for making it all the way to the end of the video. And I'll see you in the next one.